Everyone tells you use LinkedIn, network, be visible. If LinkedIn is the ultimate solution to get you the job that you decide to, why do you think so many people are unemployed? Why only a set of specific posts go viral and why not everything? And why do so many people still feel invisible, ignored, and stuck in the job market? And why are skilled professionals, especially those with real experience, are not getting those views that they desire to get or deserve to get? Let's talk about what LinkedIn has become in 2025. And especially, I'm going to cover this in terms of Canada and the Indian markets and why it might be hurting more than helping. As I remember, way back in 2010, LinkedIn was pretty simple. It was basically treated as a professional network. And when you had to connect, you had to send those connections to interact with each other. And it was taken as a great pride to be in the LinkedIn community, where everybody had their resumes, recommendations, industry connections in one single place. Especially the recruiting world loved it because they were able to see all the set of professional group of people in one platform. And of course, some of the job seekers have seen it as a platform just to give a virtual or digital handshake to each other, right? But over the years, we see after 15 years, things have changed rapidly. The feed became louder, posts became more viral, and of course, personal. And suddenly, it isn't about your skills anymore. And it was all about your presence. It's become like you're trying to build a persona as compared to a profile. And I believe that's where the job market has started splitting up. And if you go in depth, LinkedIn has become more like a platform where you need to have a presence. How it's on Instagram or YouTube kind of a thing, you need to have that visibility or the kind of views that you need to get to the top of the list. Because that's what LinkedIn has been talking about. And especially some of these posts get me into a surprise because the posts of some set of groups or people absolutely offer nothing, and they have hundreds and thousands of followers and a lot of visibility and a lot of analytics. If you get into depth of the kind of impressions that they can create are immense, and others who offer pretty strong perspectives and knowledge from their industry experience, which was more real time, they absolutely get no visibility or traction on their posts because now the platform has become it's driven by engagement and not by relevance anymore. If your post doesn't trigger a reaction, it dies down just like that. That's how Instagram works, right? And if your profile doesn't have a certain format, it gets skipped, no matter whatever niche skill that you carry. And if you are not active on LinkedIn, the algorithm is not going to show me you in my search results. That's absolutely true. It's not about how good you are anymore. It's about how visible you are constantly and consistently. And that sounds exhausting for many of them, including me. And this could happen especially for people who struggle to post on LinkedIn and try getting that active mode into their profile because they don't know what to post, they don't know what to comment on, or they don't know what perspectives to add on LinkedIn. So this could be happening to many of the people who are struggling to be socially active. And especially if you're in Canada and if you're a newcomer, this is going to be really challenging for you because you are already struggling with the cultural differences. You're trying to navigate the job market. And imagine LinkedIn is throwing a challenge of this sort where you are not able to get the visibility that you should be getting because you're not active, or even if you're active, you're not getting the kind of traction that you needed to get that limelight. Of course, some of the recruiters handle hundreds of positions, and imagine the kind of traction they're getting from the candidates because the kind of messages I get, I'm sure I know what other recruiters may also be going through because the social media spoke a lot of things that go knock the recruiter's door and try networking and apply for the job and knock the door and try to let them know offline as well that you're interested in the position. All of these influencers who do not know the reality just spoke whatever they could, and you know what happens, the recruiters are getting overwhelmed, of course, because of unnecessary follow-ups. If you are a potential candidate and you have the skill set, as a recruiter, I'm going to reach out to you no matter what because I'm not going to let you go because my organization needs you and my organization's objective is to get the best of the best. And if you are one of them, I'm not going to miss you no matter whether you send me a personal text or not, as long as you have the skill set, the abilities, and the competencies that I am looking for the kind of job that you have skills for. And let me be really clear here. I'm not saying LinkedIn is bad because I use it every day. I post stuff that I relate to my personal stories every single week. And I use LinkedIn to search for candidates that my organization needs as well. And here I'm not saying LinkedIn is bad. I don't use it kind of gyan session. It's definitely a useful tool, but you need to put it into right use because it's not about the system that we're talking about or the emphasis is on that part of it as a problem, but it's about the kind of strategy that you're using in 2025. What you might have used past years may not work any longer at this hour. The problem starts when people think that the visibility means value. Or when candidates, especially when they're looking good for opportunities, they have that pressure kind of thing, oh, I need to post every single day to get the visibility. That's not what it is. Or they attempt to personal message 15, 20 recruiters every single day kind of thing that so I'm doing a personal reach out, I'm gonna get the job kind of an impression. And that's not strategy, that's survival technique. If you still want to make the best of LinkedIn, here is what I can suggest you. Stop chasing engagement, optimize for clarity. You have to really make your headline and your about section speak about what kind of roles you're looking for and tie to that instead of just talking about your past. Because if your about section doesn't have the kind of keywords that I'm searching for, which talks about your skill set, then it's a problem. You would never be found in my search results. Your profile should be searchable and you should carry those keywords that potentially recruiters might be searching for. And don't just build connections just for the sake of volume. Don't go for it. And I'll take you an example. When I was in India, my followers were about 8,000. When I moved to Canada, it's just to 9,200 now. So it took me about a couple of years to reach the 9,200. I never chased volumes. I never cared who followed me or not. I kept going on to it, kept doing what I meant to do. And I shared only what truly was my experience all about. I built only those stories as posts that I can truly do. When people really knock and ask about more, I can speak to it. I could simply use ChatGPT to post every single day just to get some traction. That was not my objective because I wanted to be genuine and honest about what I'm sharing on social media. Because my goal was never to be famous or to get viral on LinkedIn. It was only about keeping my traction, keeping my network active, saying that, "Oh, these are my experiences, these are what I have done, and this is what I can relate to." And it's always an open story. There's always one single word which connects to the entire spectrum of that story. And then I go back and say why I am sharing at this time and what is that potentially anybody who's reading it could do. And a lot of people did react to it. A lot of people do comment to it. Some of the posts I did get a good impression. Some of the posts are dead. Not much of a action that I expected it, but that's absolutely okay. And my goal is always to post at least once in a week or twice in a week. So that's the kind of thing I have set as a goal for me. And sometimes if I don't have anything to share, I do not share. I don't feel pressure to just post something out of air just because I have to post it kind of a pressure. I don't really go with it, but I keep an effort to ensure that I am posting what I could truly post. So if you ask me, is LinkedIn really destroying the market? Not exactly. It's just making people to feel like they have to perform their value instead of building it. It's basically trying to reward people who has visibility rather than experience and speed over substance. And if you're someone who is potential, strong, and skilled, but you're quiet, thoughtful but not loud, it can definitely make you feel invisible. So all that you have to do is learn to play the game and don't let the game define your worth. Because the recruiters do not look for who is the loudest in the room or who is the loudest amongst the set of candidates. They look for the best talent. They look for who is ready for the role. So you could be the one.